All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to another episode of Soldiers of Christ podcast. And today, not just a guest, but someone who has been so fearless, a voice who has refused to be silent when other voices were completely silent. Someone who has refused to sit when others are sitting. Speaking against bad governance, someone who have chosen to be fearless. Today, we are so honored and privileged to have Comrade Judge MAKERI in the house. Comrade, you're welcome to Soldiers of Christ podcast.
Thank you very much.
How have you been doing?
I'm good.
I can see you're doing good.
Yeah, I am.
Yes. 2018, you were writing against the government of Kaduna State, speaking against the killings and so many things that were actually going wrong at a point in time in Kaduna State. So your attempted assassination at that point in time, it has any relationship with some of those your writings?
Okay, I would have loved to give a straight answer to say yes, partly and remotely too.
All right.
But I have to say that this attempt took place precisely 29th of October 2015.
Okay, 2015.
2018.
Okay, 2018.
Sorry, not 2015, 2018.
All right.
That is the year on the eve of the election year, which is 2019.
All right.
And I can understand what was happening then, because to me, I have been writing a lot of things against the government of Malam Nasiru Elrufa'i.
All right.
And I started writing Kaduna Will Be Great Again from May 2015 up until that attempt of my life.
Okay, you were writing Kaduna Will Be
Yes,
Great.
I was writing Kaduna
Was
Will Be
it
Great Again.
during Malam Nasiru Elrufa'i or before the government of Malam Nasiru Elrufa'i?
I started paying attention to the government of Kaduna State personally as far back as when Yakowa was governor of Kaduna State. I was 2009 to 2010 when Yaradua was having these problems, and Yakowa, based on the doctrine of necessity, was made the governor, acting governor.
So that at that point in time, when you were writing during Yakowa, were you also criticizing his government at that point in time, or you were speaking for the government at that point in time?
I wouldn't say I was criticizing the Yakowa government.
All right.
I was more like an observer, but I was happy that for the first time in the history of Kaduna State, we could have somebody from Southern Kaduna becoming the governor.
And who was performing excellently
and he was
well.
doing very well. He was doing very well. But then there was this atmosphere that is being built across the country, especially from the northern side of the country.
All right.
Where the people there are so very bitter, or were so very bitter about Yakowa being the governor. And that to me was an insult on the people of Southern Kaduna. I mean, we've been following you guys for like decades, and for the first time, one of our sons is the governor of the state. You guys are feeling very pissed. Like, this is crazy. So I was feeling that way that much that time.
All right.
But when Yero came on board, Yero now was acting as if he was trying to deal with the people of Southern Kaduna.
All right.
For even having the effrontery to have a Yakowa as the governor. Yakowa that didn't even last for up to a term. Just 2010 to 2012. May he so rest in peace.
Oh, man.
So now we have Yero on board, and the way Yero was going, it appears to me particularly that he had no respect for the people. So I felt, okay, anybody who is or who can show respect for the people. That was when somebody like Elrufa'i started showing, himself to be interested in running for the governorship. And that thing that said, okay, they said Elrufa'i was former FCT minister. Elrufa'i was a more cosmopolitan person. Elrufa'i was educated enough, and based on his education,
so there were more tendencies for him to perform well.
Yes. And the thing is, considering Yero's own education to that of Elrufa'i, Yero is nowhere near.
You can't compare them.
That understanding now made me to feel maybe his education might make him to understand this all-inclusive approach of governance.
All right.
Much more than Yero, but I think we were all wrong.
So you got disappointed when he
So when he took over government, in fact, before he took over, he had started showing some of the signs. In Kafanchan, we went for one of his political rally there, and he said that nobody will kill somebody and go scot-free under him. That's Elrufa'i said that.
Wait. You were part of the people that campaigned for Elrufa'i.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say I was part of the people who campaigned for him, but at least I was part of the people who thought that he could be a better governor
Yes.
compared to Yero.
Yes.
You understand? And that was based on his exposure. My own
His
perception
achievement
of,
in the FCT.
Well, for me, not necessarily his achievement in the FCT.
All right.
Because I was aware of how he was high-handed in the FCT.
Oh my God.
And I was aware of how he took properties belonging to others and gave it to his friends. I was also aware of the Senate committee saying he was not qualified to hold any public office.
All right.
I think is it the 9th Senate or the 8th Senate or the 7th Senate? They said he was not qualified to hold public office because after checking him, they now noticed that he had no remorse for some of his policies that were kind of anti-people. But that's by the way. On my own note, I just felt somebody who has been exposed that much should know how to carry people along. Much more than Yero. But I was wrong. Now, why was I wrong? Elrufa'i, from my deductions and by my opinion, has always been a fundamentalist, a fanatical fundamentalist, somebody whose only approach, and this fundamentalism is not something that is embedded in him, like maybe he truly believes in that fundamentalism. No, it is just a political tool.
Okay, he was just using that to get what he wants.
Yes, it's a political tool, because if you tell me Elrufa'i is godless, I'll believe you. Like he has no God, I believe you. The reason is somebody who can use religion so recklessly, so ruthlessly, so mindlessly to attain political height is not godly.
Yeah,
it's not godly by my assessment anyway. But that's by the way. So on 28, but I've been writing all of this.
What were you actually writing about Elrufa'i while he was in office?
Because he started with certain policies that immediately exposed.
What were those policies?
Okay, you see, when Elrufa'i came, he gave us this feeling like he is somebody who is embracing everybody.
All right.
But when he started with policies that show clearly that he was anti-people from the south, like Southern Kaduna people, and he's against the Christians, you get it.
So he was like anti-Christians
right from the scratch.
Oh my God.
You know immediately that this guy, you know the way Hausa people will say, Juma I can send you. I just immediately knew that this guy is not going to be any good. And then another thing again is based on his intelligence. I was also readily aware that he will have very beautiful ways of covering his crime. So if you tell me EFCC could not find anything on him, AICPC could not find anything on him, I'm not surprised. Yes, because he will know how to cover his tracks. So he will do you damage and he can cover that damage. And nobody will know about it. So this understanding made me to begin to expose some of his tricks, because I know he was a student of Niccolo Machiavelli. He read The Prince. I knew he was also a student of Robert Greene on the 48 Laws of Power, and I knew he has read so many of these satanic philosophies on power, crushing your enemy and crushing them completely. Yes.
Yeah.
So I was very much aware of this knowledge of his, and so I started exposing some of the things he was doing, talking about them in my series Kaduna Will Be Great Again, from 2015 right up to the time he made an attempt on my life. I said it was an assassination attempt because they called me on 28. I just got a strange call on 28.
Now, I actually want to establish something before we get there. Which of the write-up actually triggered that attempted assassination?
Okay, well, being the governor of the state, I hold it that any governor of any state is the security officer of that state.
Yeah.
And so any insecurity in that state should be traced back to the governor.
To the governor, sure.
Especially when the body language of the governor is showing that he is at peace
with the insecurity.
So Elrufa'i showed all of this all these indicators were present with Elrufa'i.
Okay.
Elrufa'i clearly showed us at that period that he was okay with the prevailing situation, especially because the people that are being attacked or that were coming under insecurity were people he termed his political enemies. And he being the security officer of the state, and these things were happening to his political enemies, these were things that were calling for concern. And for somebody like me, I said Elrufa'i should be aware of what was happening in the state, and he had a hand in it. if he didn't have a hand in it.
So there was a direct accusation.
Yes, there was a direct accusation. I said he had a hand in it. If he didn't have a hand in it, he would have gotten the people who were responsible for that criminal act. But he didn't get them. So I made that statement on the 26th of October 2018.
Okay.
Because that was when we got news that the Agwamadara was assassinated.
Oh, all right.
And his body dumped along the Kaduna Abuja highway.
After he
was kidnapped a week earlier on 19th of October. So when I got that news, I said, Elrufa'i should know something about the assassination, the kidnap and assassination of the Agwamadara, being the security officer of the state. Yes.
Like you went publicly
online. I said that he should know something about the kidnap and assassination of the Agwamadara, because as a security, though I didn't give the because, but I just made a direct statement. And from my own position as the chief security officer, who was responsible for the security of lives and properties of the people. And I was also readily aware that the Agwamadara was returning from an invitation that Elrufa'i himself gave to him when he was kidnapped. So I told myself immediately, Elrufa'i should know something. I knew he was cunning. I knew he was crooked. I knew he would try to cover his tracks because he is very good at that.
Very good.
Yes. Where I said the Agwamadara was invited by you. He left you and was going back and was kidnapped. And today he's dead and his body dumped. And I also got information that Elrufa'i summoned the chiefs, the surviving chiefs, after the Agwamadara was declared dead. And he was reading riot acts to them, threatening them. So what is the point of threatening?
What was the threat
the
about?
Chiefs? Yeah, he was telling them, because he had already told them that he wanted them to change the nomenclature of their chiefdoms from the indigenous names to the towns, to the names of the towns.
Oh, yeah.
You don't understand? Let me tell you. Like the Adara chief now was told to change it from Agom Adara. No, to Agom Kachia.
To Guam Kachia, okay.
You understand?
Oh my God.
To change the name.
So they now limited to just the town.
Just the town.
So anybody from that town can actually succeed him.
Exactly.
You understand? So even if like ours in Kurama chiefdom, we used to have Bugwam Kurumi, at a point in time, and
is he still there like that?
He was arrested by Elrufa'i, for so many months. He was later released, but I think he died after
being released.
After being released,
there were other chiefs.
And what actually happened now? The one who is currently the chief of Kudaru, not Bugwam Kurumi again. Now is someone who is actually related to the government. So they brought him. And they made him the chief of Kudaru, not Bugwam Kurumi anymore. So it means a Muslim can actually occupy that.
Exactly. Now you're getting it.
So anybody. The same thing with Chukun, issue of Chukun. That's Sagwagi. It's no more Sagwagi again. So anybody can actually come in and occupy that position, that throne.
Now you see this movement by Elrufa'i where he tries to remove the indigenship of the people to allow the place to be a free for all, where anybody can come in and become anything. We're all preparation to allowing just anybody. Because Elrufa'i himself, you see, that's a problem when you have somebody as a governor who is not from that enclave. Elrufa'i originally is not from Kaduna State. Originally he's from Kaduna State. So coming to become governor of Kaduna State, of course he knew he was going to be facing the issue of Kaima asalinka ba dan Kaduna bane. Kai dan Katsina ne. Menene ya sa za a barka ka zama gwamnan Kaduna? Now, he needed to do something that will legitimize
his position,
and not only his position, but even that of his children. That's why you have one of his son now as the representative.
But I think he's actually acting different from his father.
He might be acting different from his father, but you see, somebody like me, I don't know why I don't trust anybody from that side. No matter how good or how nice they appear, I just feel like I just don't trust them. Do you get it? They have to do beyond what I am seeing right now to trust them.
So how did you escape from that assassination.
Okay, fine. Like I was
You
telling
said you were called by the
SBI.
Yes,
the State Bureau of Investigation. Prior to that day, I didn't know they existed. But when I got a call from them through a strange number, I was shocked. Like, what is the SBI calling me for? Now, there were so many unanswered questions, even from the state government, so I decided not to honor the invitation.
All right. And what was their reaction?
Well, their reaction was though I told them I was going to come, but waiting me, I told myself I was not honoring the invitation. And my reasons for not honoring the invitation, let me just give you my reasons.
All right.
First, the Agbo murderer was killed just 2 days prior to that invitation.
2 days.
They have not, instead of them to mobilize to go get the killers of the Agbo murderer, if they were real and they were not involved, they were more interested in coming for me. A government that is serious about securing the lives and properties of the people and has no
concern.
No, let's just put it that has no involvement in the killings of the Agbo murderer will not be going for a mere citizen. When the killers of the Agbo murderer were still at large. They were not apprehended as at that point. But they were now requesting me, and that time there was a curfew. It was on a Sunday. They were now calling me to come to their office. I didn't even know they were existing.
Curfew in Kaduna or in Kaswamagani?
Yeah, well, there was a curfew that was spilling into the Kaduna main town itself.
Oh.
Because let me be honest with you, there was also curfew in Kaduna. It's just that it's restricted to sometimes.
Was it more like a partial curfew?
A partial curfew. Thank you very much. So when they were calling me was a time that the curfew, was not there. But before I could get there and return, there would be curfew. And I couldn't have honored that invitation, except, of course, if they were planning not to allow me return. And that was why I knew it was assassination attempt.
Thank you for watching MDTV.